All right, boys. It's that time again. We have a new update, and today it's from Tradeify. You guys do know I am an affiliate with them, and I'm also an affiliate with Take Profit Trader. So my affiliate codes for both these prop firms are going to be in the description for this video, and it supports the channel. But this follows my prediction from last year that over time we're going to see all of these prop firms basically look very similar to each other. One of the biggest selling points of Trade Day initially, and which is why I still like them, as a trader, is they had one of the best payout policies in the industry for quite some time, where they had no consistency rule in the funded accounts, and they also had same day payouts, so you can make money on the first day in the funded and get a payout the same day in the funded. And I thought that was just different. Everybody else had weird rules like you got to make 30%, you have to trade the same thing, the same size all the time. Um, and they also were one of the first prop firms I saw to exclusively have end of day drawdown, and that was a huge selling point to me. But the one thing that I didn't like over the years was they had 5 days to pass, and they had I want to say, consistency rule on their evaluations. And now that's commonplace. Top step, 50% consistency in the evaluation, and hidden consistency rule in the funded. And the hidden consistency rule is to get a payout, you have to make 5 days of like $100 or more, or whatever it is, based on the account type. That's a consistency rule. I don't care what anybody says. That is a consistency rule. So let's just go over the new updates, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. So new intraday accounts and much more. You guys know I hate intraday. Absolutely hate it. Never was a fan of it. I gave Apex a lot of smoke for their intraday trailing drawdown, and even Take Profit for a while, where Take Profit does the switch where the evals end of day drawdown and the funded is intraday. Now, what we're seeing is the rules now for the new policies or the new plans look a lot to me like Take Profit. And that could be good and bad. So I'm gonna go through more of the reasons why. We receive feedback from the trading community that there is a demand for intraday evaluations at a lower price point, and this kind of makes sense, right? For all the beef I give Apex, Apex has the cheapest evals, and that's how I got started. My first prop firm account was with Apex, and intraday trailing drawdown is how they're able to offer these cheap evaluations. So that's that. Like any prop firm that has end of day drawdown, you're either gonna pay more upfront, whether the evaluation costs more, or they're gonna have an activation fee to offset it. So Trade Day's policies were kind of always in line price wise with, I'd say, like my fund futures or even Topstep. When you factor in their activation fee, they're kind of all around the same place, where you're paying anywhere from $200 to maybe $300 or $400 for an account. So I get the math, right? Like more people are gonna fail because of this, but I get that they're saying if people are asking for it and people think they're confident enough to pass an intraday eval, give it to them and let them choose for themselves, which is fine. So again, it says a lower cost option for traders looking for flexibility. So I get that. And one thing I will say, to Trade Day's credit, is that it's much harder to fail an evaluation with a consistency rule in the eval and a 5 or maybe 7 day minimum days to pass. So meaning you can either divide, the profit target by 5 or 7 or whatever it is, and figure out how much you're going to make a day. So even if they give you, let's say, $2,000 in intraday trailing drawdown, uh, you technically are aiming to make less money per day than, let's say, a My Funded Futures expert account where you can pass in one day. So you can put on a big position and either you pass or you fail, and right then and there, and you save time. But so intraday is not the worst thing in the world, assuming you're not treating it like an account with end of day drawdown. The benefit of end of day drawdown is it's as close as you're going to get to a static account where it doesn't trail. Whereas intraday, it's going off of your highest profit, whether you realize it or not. And that's the key word there, whether it's realized or not. So even if you, let's say you had a $50,000 account, you drew it up to 52,000, and then it fell to 50,000. If the drawdown is $2,000, you failed the account because it went up 2,000 and it fell down 2,000. You failed. Whereas end of day drawdown, if you go up 2,000 and you end at 50,000, you go back break even. You wouldn't fail because the drawdown is set to 48,000 and it would trail at the end of the day. So if you made that 52,000 and the next day, if it fell 2,000 the next day, then you fail. So this is, if it falls down at 2,000 intraday, you fail. All right, cool. So now that we are all talking the same language here, all right, they're going to give more updates. They update the pricing. Of course, this makes sense because intraday is harder to pass. So the accounts are going to be cheaper because more people are going to fail. That's how I'm reading this. Starting today, all affiliate codes will increase from 20% off to 40% off. As you know, I do have a code, Honest Prop Trader. So use my code to support my channel. Here's a new part that's really important that I don't think I'm a fan of, but it is what it is. These changes are for new subscriptions only. So to do whatever payout policy, profit targets, and trailing max drawdown you sign up for, as long as your subscription stays active. So if you have an old plan, you're good. Nothing's going to change. But this is for new people only. They're changing their payout policy, this is an interesting one to me. For a while, 90-10 was an industry standard. So I think Topstep is still 90-10. My Funded Futures is still 90-10. So they're saying you can get 90 after you make the first $50,000. So if you're under 50,000, it's going to be 80-20. And again, this lines up with Take Profit. Take Profit has 80-20 split. Take Profit also has a news rule. Take Profit has intraday trailing drawdown. So I think Tradeify has good intentions, but if they're going to compete with intraday trailing drawdown, they're going to have to kind of go all the way. So what that means to me is they either need to lower the cost of their resets or have no activation fee. Because even if you pass the evaluation, you're still paying $200 to get an account. That's intraday. And you're not really saving much money because you're saving money in terms of the eval, sure. Right now, you'd probably pay $260, like $132 plus their $139 fee. You're looking at about $260, $270. Whereas this, maybe it's $200. That's not big enough of savings to me to go for intraday trailing drawdown. So either the resets need to be cheaper. I think sometimes Apex runs a promotion where the resets is 35% or $35. I'm sorry. So if their resets are still going to be the same price for intraday and for end of day drawdown, not a fan. And Take Profit is interesting because they'll give you end of day and evaluation, which in theory could make their eval easier to pass. So Take Profit has the same reset fee, around $100 as Tradeify. And then you're going to get a 95% profit share if you make over $100,000, which very few prop traders do. And this is actually interesting to me because I'm with My Funded Futures and I've made less than 50,000. And I've already gotten emails from them almost like nudging me like, hey, if you don't go live soon, like, we're watching you. Our risk department's watching you, which is kind of weird to me. I don't think I've made that much money with them, nowhere near like a regular U.S. worker salary. So it does kind of feel very strange that they're, being this pushy in terms of like what I've withdrawn so far, which is I don't think is that much money. But this is good. This is kind of a good update. You can once again withdraw into your buffer, but they're subjecting you to a 50% profit share, I don't like that. I mean, 50%, that's expensive, but 50% compared to 20% isn't that big a difference, but it still is a lot, right? If you make $100, a 20% profit split, 80-20, you're gonna get $80. If you withdraw $1,000, you're gonna get $800. $10,000, you're gonna get $8,000. So you're paying for this account, like all their accounts. This is intraday and for end of day drawdown. Like, I'm not a fan of the tiers. Personally, I think they should. I'm not saying they should reverse this, but 90-10 is a standard to me. Like, I think 90-10 is fair and reasonable, but so you're gonna pay a lot more money for the ability to make withdrawals the same day. He said they changed this because many traders lose funded accounts before we see a return on the funding partner's capital. That's questionable, but I'm gonna leave it. This aligns trade day with traders, rewards loyalty, and discourages early deep withdrawals that leave accounts vulnerable. Despite these changes, Trade Day still offers the best payout policy in the industry. We checked day one payouts processed daily and full access to capital when needed. And again, like, you're paying for the ability to not have to wait 14 days for your payout, or wait for 2 specific days per month for your payout, and to not have a 20% consistency rule while waiting for 2 specific days per month to get a payout. So I understand the logic behind it. They also kind of streamlined their offering to now offer only 3 account types to make it easier for traders to evaluate against other companies, which makes sense. They did update the profit targets. This sucks because their old targets were really good. I used to love their old targets. I thought it was really reasonable and made sense, but they're now seeking to match industry standards. So again, they're all kind of becoming like each other. And this will help Trade Day manage risk more effectively and makes it easier for traders to compare Trade Day against competitors. Trailing max drawdowns, they increased the drawdown on the 150K account from 3,500 to 4,000, and this probably comes with the increased profit target. So, yep, they're becoming more like the industry, right? They removed the permitted times rule breach. Love this. I've always said if they have a rule about news, they should auto liquidate you. There's no reason why they couldn't do that, and they might have heard me because they removed that policy. And I think this also includes trading after like 4:59 or whatever the time is for trade day. Most companies will just close you out at a certain time automatically. So if you forgot a position open, they'll fail you for that. I was never a fan of that. So I am a huge fan of the fact that if they know there's a certain time people shouldn't have positions open, that they will just close you out automatically, which is an industry standard. So this is good news. Traders still cannot trade tier 1 data releases or hold positions into the close, but Trade Day will now automatically liquidate open positions ahead of these events. That's great news. Now the only way to lose an evaluation at Trade Day is breach of the trailing max drawdown, and they're taking away their trial. I'm not even sure what you got with the trial, but I'm okay. This is a lot of updates, lots of stomach, right? This makes them now more like they're now competing against Apex. Actually, they're not competing against Take Profit Trader. So it's interesting. I think by making the argument for trade days intraday trailing drawdown, you may be able to see the value in take profits intraday trailing drawdown. As it currently stands, I think Take Profit Trader has the strongest intraday offering because you can pass their eval in 5 days, and you can also withdraw same day as you can with them. And they do also allow you to withdraw into your buffer for a fee, and you got to close the account. I guess they don't mention that here, which that could be a benefit for them, but 50% is that's excessive. They could double it from like 20 to 30 or 20 to 40. I don't know. And I'm not really a huge fan of the 80-20 split when we've been so used to getting 90-10 from companies. But I do understand the idea that some people want cheaper evals, but I don't necessarily believe it's cheaper. I think in the long run you'll pay for it through that split. So if you're successful, your first payout, if it's $1,000, you'll pay them an extra $100 for their right to withdraw same day. So is it worth it to, play the payout rules games with other companies and wait 14 days or wait for 2 specific days and have consistency rules? Or are you willing to pay an extra 10% of your payout to not have those rules? So I think each person has to make their own decision. I don't know if I'm interested in trying an intraday account from Tradeday. If I was interested in intraday, I probably would just try Take Profit. Honestly, that's just what it is. But lucky for you guys, I have promo codes for both. So same code, I think with Take Profit, it's all caps, and yeah. But I think it's cool for some people. I think for the right person, this could make a lot of sense. But for me, now that I am getting payouts, that split does impact you. After a couple $1,000s and you see that 80-20 split, you start doing the math and it's no, I'm paying for this. These evals are cheap, but I'm paying for it on the back end. So I think that's what I'll say to you guys. These numbers, when they change, they mean something real. When you get a payout and you see okay, you should have gotten 3,600 and then you got 3,200, it's a real thing. Or you got 2,760 out of 3,600. That's when you realize okay, whoa, let me think about this. Does this really make sense? So let's do the math on that. Actually, 3,600 minus 20%. 2,880, but that's about what, $720. That's a lot of money. Whereas another company, you could get, the payout for $360. So I think it's just a matter of you're paying for the convenience. You're paying for the ability to withdraw every single day. There's a fee for that. I get that. That makes sense. Nothing's free. So the top two in the space right now, to me, that offer intraday is Take Profit and Tradeday. The no consistency rules, great. The same day payouts, great. 80-20 split, not so great, but you get what you pay for. So, and I'll make another argument for why the amount of days to pass their evals doesn't really matter. Both Trade Day and Topstep have, I think, 7 days for Trade Day and 5 days for Topstep. Not Topstep. Take Profit. I'm sorry. Take Profit is 5 days, and then Trade Day is 7. But with the My Funded Future starter account, you can't get paid. So you can pass the eval on the first day, but you can't get paid for another 5 trading days. Tradeify, you can buy a same day no eval account. You need 10 trading days, I believe, or 10 days to get your payout, and they have a consistency rule. My Funded Futures expert account, you can pass same day, but you will not get a payout for 14 days. No consistency rule. Topstep, you can pass in 2 days, but you need 5 trading days to get a payout. So again, like, you're paying for time. If you need your money now, that's what you're gonna get. Like, you're gonna get it with trade day and take profit. So you have to really do your own calculation on what the value of that is to you. And it's different for everybody. Some people, it makes more sense to have a more favorable profit split. And then for some people, they just want their money now, and they'll make more money to pay for the split. So I like the concept, I'm not gonna lie to you. I love, trade days model for quite some time. I do understand the need to be more competitive and follow the industry. So I think this change, along with the change that came recently from Take Profit, really puts these two neck and neck. I think they can no longer, let's look at the prices for the evals. So intraday accounts now are at 75, 132, 180. These look great. Like, I mean, $100 resets, not bad, right? But, there's always a but. They both have activation fees. I think Take Profit is 139. No, Take Profit's 130, I believe, if I'm still correct on that. It's been a while. And I think Trade Days is 139. So this account would cost you about 310. This would cost you, well, no, it's like 319, but whatever. All I'm saying is you're gonna pay about $200 to get into these accounts. Like, all three of them, you're gonna pay at least $200. This is probably 300 something, and then this mid 200s. So, but the ability to withdraw same day, that is intriguing. I'm not sure though how the withdrawing into your buffer thing works with the 50% split, because like, how does that affect your buffer? And that's where I'm trying to figure out, like, are you withdrawing your buffer when you do that? And if you do that, aren't you setting yourself up for failure? So, like, on an account like this, let's say you made $4,000 or $1,000 on your first day, so you're still below the buffer, but you need money for whatever reason, and you withdraw $400. So now your buffer is going to be like 3,600, or like, no. I mean, yeah, you're going to get, no. If it's an 80% split or 50% split, if you want to withdraw $400, you're going to have to withdraw $800 and then give them 400 of the 800. And then your drawdown is going to be 3,200. I think that encourages people to blow accounts, personally. It's that split, and the split's unavoidable. I get it. Because even if you hit the buffer and made the same withdrawal, you're still splitting the money. Like, you're still, instead of you paying them on let's say, $400, you want to get $400 in your pocket. Instead of you having to withdraw 800, you'd withdraw 500. So I don't know. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot of stuff to think about, but change is coming, and I think over time we're going to see more prop firms make these changes to make their business model still make sense. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think it's a cool idea for some people, and even after my own experiences with my funded futures, the pass in one day sounds great, but you can't get your money for either 5 trading days or 14 days. What do you want to wait for? Do you want to wait to pass the eval, or do you want to wait to get your payout? Because you're going to wait one way or another. And from that perspective, taking 5 days to pass the eval isn't that bad because it's on the front end. So, like, 5 days in the beginning to get your payout versus recently I had an account with my funded futures, and I had to basically take payouts for like 5 weeks straight to withdraw the money in my account, or like to get paid out. And that wasn't fun. Like, they have caps on withdrawals and things like that. So there's always a trade-off, right? Like, there's always going to be a trade-off when it comes to time and money. And it's just up to you how important it is to have the flexibility to withdraw same day. So huge fan of both Trade Day and Take Profit. So that's why I'm an affiliate for both. Well, I mean, I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this. So let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.